بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم۔ جیسا کہ میں نے اپنے لاسٹ انٹروڈکٹری گفتگو میں قانون شہادت آرڈر 1984 جو کہ ہمارے ملک میں رائج الوقت ہے، نافذ العمل ہے قانون، دیوانی اور فوجداری کیسز میں، جیسا کہ آپ لیگل فریٹرنٹی سے منسلک لوگ ہیں، اور یہ اتنا کریٹیکل اور ڈیلیکیٹ معاملہ ہوتا ہے، کسی بھی مدعی مقدمہ جیسے کہ دیوانی کیسز میں ہوتا ہے، اور مستغیث مقدمہ کسی فوجداری مقدمے میں، ان کی جو بھی دونوں پارٹیز کے پاس شہادت ہوتی ہے، اسی طرح ڈیفینڈنٹ مدعا علیہ وٹنس باکس میں عدالت میں آتے ہیں، تو وہ جو اور ملزم فوجداری مقدمے میں، تو بنیادی طور پر جو ذکر کرتا چلوں کہ یہ کافی حد تک جو ایویڈنس ایکٹ 1872 والا تھا اسی کا ریپلیکا ہے، لیکن کچھ امینڈمنٹ کے بعد اسے نئے طور پر نافذ العمل کیا گیا، لیکن جو گائیڈنگ پرنسپلز تھے وہ یہ فراہم کرتا ہے کہ شہادت کو جب عدالت میں دونوں پارٹیز اپنے گواہان کے ذریعے اپنے اپنے دیوانی یا فوجداری مقدمہ کو ثابت کرنے کے حوالے سے کسی ایگزسٹنس آف فیکٹ اور نان ایگزسٹنس آف فیکٹ کے حوالے سے، تو وہ جتنی کسی کی مضبوط اور قانون کے تقاضوں کے عین مطابق شہادت ہوگی، اور وہ جو جج صاحب، جو میجسٹریٹ صاحب اس مقدمہ کی سماعت کر رہے ہیں اور اپنے سامنے گواہان کے بیانات کا سارا پروسیس مراحل کو طے کیا جا رہا ہے، وہ پھر ان کی اپنی ایک ڈسکریشن ہوگی کہ کون سی شہادت کین بی بلیوڈ اور وچ ایویڈنس کین بی ڈسکارڈڈ اور ڈس بلیوڈ۔ وہ قانون شہادت آرڈر کے ٹوٹل 13 چیپٹر ہیں، اس کے 166 آرٹیکلز یا آپ دفعات بھی کہہ سکتے ہیں، جن میں سے 166 تو اسٹوڈ ریپیلڈ، 165 ہیں۔ سب سے پہلے ضرورت اس امر کو سمجھنے کی ہے، دو تین جو اہم ابتدائی آرٹیکل ہیں ان کو ہم ذرا اوریجنل ٹیکسٹ کو مد نظر رکھنا بڑا ضروری ہے۔ پہلا تو اس کا ٹائٹل جسے ہم کہتے ہیں، نام ہے اس کا، دی آرڈر میں بی کالڈ دی قانون شہادت آرڈر 1984 اینڈ اٹ ایکسٹینڈ ٹو ہول دی پاکستان as far as its applicability is concerned. Let me clarify here, this lecture would be bilingual, rather somewhere it may be multiple lingual، اپنی میری آسانی کے لیے اور آپ لوگوں کی تک ایک مؤثر انداز سے، جو کہ میری ہمیشہ کوشش رہتی ہے کہ میں آپ تک یہ اس کا پورا جو مقصد ہے، آبجیکٹ ہے، وہ آپ تک پہنچا سکوں۔ اسی طرح یہ جوڈیشل اور کواسائی جوڈیشل یا کوئی ٹریبیونل جنہوں نے کوئی شہادت ریکارڈ کرنی ہے دونوں پارٹیز کی، اور پھر اس شہادت کی روشنی پر اس نتیجہ پر پہنچنا ہے. لیکن یہ آربیٹریٹر جیسے آربیٹریشن ایکٹ ہے 1940 کا، اس کی جو آربیٹریشن پروسیڈنگ ہے ان پہ یہ واضح کر دیا گیا اپلیکیبل نہیں ہے. آرٹیکل 2 انٹرپریٹیشن کا ہے، جس میں اے ہے تو ججز اینڈ مجسٹریٹس کے حوالے سے، اینڈ آل پرسن ایکسیپٹ آربیٹریٹر لیگلی آتھرائز ٹو ٹیک ایویڈنس. بی میں بتایا گیا کہ ڈاکومنٹ مینز اینی میٹر ایکسپریسڈ اور ڈسکرائبڈ اپان اینی سبسٹینس بائی مینز آف لیٹرز فگرز اور مارکس اور بائی مور دین ون آف دوز مینز intended to be used or which may be used for the purpose of recording that matter. اس کی illustration بھی دی ہوئی ہیں. A writing is a document. Something has been written by somebody, so, and that is available in the form of some written material. So it is said to be the document. Similarly, words printed, lithographed or photographed are documents. A map or plan is a document. An inscription on a metal plate or stone is a document. A caricature is a document. جیسے کوئی کارٹون یا کوئی ایسا اگر بنایا ہوا تو دیٹ از. C is very important, which denotes about the evidence. What is in a literal sense is the meaning of the evidence. Evidence includes all statements which the court permits or requires to be made before it by witnesses in relation to matters of fact under inquiry. Such statements are called oral evidence. And اس کا B part ہے, all documents produced for the inspection of the court, such documents are called documentary evidence. So it has been referred that there are mainly or broadly two types of evidences. One is said to be the oral evidence, جسے ہم زبانی شہادت کہتے ہیں. اس کی خیر وہ جیسے میں نے بتایا کہ یہ کوئی سائنس کے ذریعے ہے. If somebody is a deaf or dumb person, so and he has witnessed some occurrence in spite of this physical disability, so it cannot be termed that he or she is unable to testify about any fact. You must remember fact again and again, because the word fact shall be used very frequently. Moreover, my focus is on discussing only those provisions of Qanun Shahadat Order 1984, herein after shall be called QSO for brevity sake. Signs, marks, and whatever the senses, there are 5 types of senses: power of seeing, power of hearing, power of speaking, power of smelling, but it depends upon the nature of the fact in issue. Fact in issue means on that very material fact regarding which a party is producing his witnesses in the court, as the case may be. As far as criminal trial is concerned, this may be falling, the offences are falling within the domain and jurisdiction of magistrate, and that would be a magisterial trial. If it is relating to session case, then it would be termed to be sessions trial. And civil case, جیسے کہ سی پی سی میں ایک پورا میکنزم دیا گیا ہے، پلیڈنگز ہوتی ہیں دونوں پارٹیز، وہ ہر آرڈر میں اسے ریفلیکٹ کیا گیا. وہ وی ہیو آلریڈی ڈسکس ٹو سم ایکسٹینٹ. اس سے جو سب سے اہم چیز ہے وہ آگے آ جاتی ہے ڈی. یہ واضح کرتا چلوں کہ یہ آرٹیکل، یہ انٹرپریٹیشن میں جو ہم نے کورٹ کی بات کی ہے، ڈاکومنٹ کی بات کی ہے، اورل اینڈ ڈاکومنٹری. تیسری اب الیکٹرانک بھی آ گئی ہے, الیکٹرانک طریقے سے آنے والی 46A ریلیونسی آف فیکٹس کا جو چیپٹر ہے جسے ہم ڈسکس کریں گے, اور 78 QSO کا 78A ہے کہ اینی ایویڈنس which has been procured through automated, that is said to be the automated generated piece of evidence, that is also kind of documentary evidence. اس کی ایڈمیسیبلٹی اور ان ایڈمیسیبلٹی کے حوالے سے جو اس میں طریقہ کار وضع کیا گیا ہے اس کے بھی ہم ڈسکس کریں گے. اس سے سب سے جو آگے ایکسپلینیشن میں بات آتی ہے ریلیونسی آف فیکٹس کے حوالے سے, وہ آگے اسی کی ترتیب میں جا رہا ہے کہ one fact is said to be relevant to another when the one is connected with the other in any of the ways referred to in the provision of this order related to the relevancy of facts. The expression fact in issue includes any fact from which either by itself or in connection with other facts the existence, non-existent, nature or extent or any right, liability or disability asserted or denied in any suit or proceeding necessary follows. Under the provision of the law for the time being in force relating to civil procedure, any court records an issue of fact, the fact to be asserted or denied in the answer to such issue is a fact in issue. جیسے illustration بھی ڈسکس کر لیتے ہیں. A is accused of the murder of B. At his trial, the following facts which may be in issue, in contentious issues. So here the word issue has been used. Normally it is relatable to framing of issues under section order 14 of the Civil Procedure Code 1908, when in the light of the pleadings of both the parties issues are framed by the court, and while framing the issues, whatever the stance and right has been asserted by the plaintiff through his pleadings for determination of his title, and he has instituted a suit for declaration on the basis of some title document. Although CPC, Code of Civil Procedure, is the procedural law which regulates the proceedings arising out of a civil suit and being dealt with by the civil court only, not criminal case. So, in the light of those facts and material facts which have been brought forth by the one party to assert his right, but when the written statement is filed by the defendant, one or more, so they have brought forth through their pleadings. When the word pleading as contemplated under order 6 is concerned, it of CPC, it relates to pleadings of both the parties. But then there is a bifurcation under order 7 and order 8 respectively for the particulars of the plaint and the particulars of the written statement filed by the defendant, in which he denies the stance of the plaintiff which has been brought in the court for adjudication. So, but in criminal case, when we talk of fact in issue, it is in a distinct sense. A is accused of the murder of B. At his trial, the following facts may be in issue. What facts would be in issue for the determination of the trial court if somebody A has been put before the court for his trial? That A caused B's death, this is one fact in issue. That A had intended to cause B's death. Intended So that mens rea and intention and knowledge as defined under section 300. So you certainly have heard, or maybe some of you are having complete grip over that, the difference between culpable homicide amounting to murder and culpable homicide not amounting to murder. So there is an element of intention and knowledge if missing. Because in the Pakistan Penal Code, which is the substantive law, wherein this the definitions of various offences have been defined, particularly offences relating to human body. When a person is killed or murdered, but if the accused takes the plea that it was not his intention, but accidentally the the, the gun which was being from that gun, by use of that gun, he made a shot while he was aiming at some deer or some animal or some, for hunting purposes, but accidentally if it had hit the bee, then that it means he has taken the plea. Although person has been killed, this is a fact in issue, but it was not his intention. So it is qatl khata, or some body has been killed by rash or negligent driving, or qatl bisbab, accidental. There are different manifestations which have been provided. But if culpable homicide is amounted to murder, then what are the ingredients? Those ingredients are, intention, mens rea, and actus reus, or it has been executed because of the act and omission with that complete intention by the accused, with the knowledge that he had intended to kill B, with the knowledge that if he would uh, cause blows with his knife or dagger or any crime weapon or firearm, pistol, carbine, whatever. So this is the situation. So that A has caused that, that A had intended to cause that, that A had received grave sudden provocation from B. This plea may be taken by the, because if he takes the plea, accused takes the plea, being A is said to be the accused, that he had not, he all of a sudden found B in compromising position with his, maybe wife or daughter, so that grave and plea of grave and sudden proof. This is one of the factors. The burden of proof if it takes. Likewise, there are, general exception starting from section 76 to 106, 106 ہم کہہ سکتے ہیں. اس میں بھی ڈفرینٹ, جیسے if an offense is committed by an insane person, that it has been committed by a boy of tender age who was less than 7 years old. So he was not in both the situation, a minor boy as well as any accused who is, suffering with some chronic serious mental illness, and at that relevant time when the offense was committed by him and he is being charged for that, he can take the plea. Similarly, when uh, any officer while discharging his duties, if this has occurred, but it would be evaluated at the time of recording the evidence and during the course of cross examination. So these are the different scenarios for your understanding. So we will be discussing decide to prove when they consider the matter before it exists or considers ہم نے یہ بات کی. So before delving deep into the QSO, let me refer here some excerpts of the judgments of the Honorable Superior Courts of Pakistan in while rendering those judgments, what peculiar features of significant nature relating to appraisal and appreciation evidence of the parties when the judgments which were challenged and were impugned before those superior courts were taken into. So some very important principles are required to be briefly discussed. Standard of proof generally required in criminal cases that it should be beyond all reasonable doubt, while beyond reasonable doubt as far as criminal case is concerned. However, in civil cases, proof would be on balance of probabilities. So that's why the identical word is preponderance of evidence, in whose favor the evidence available with the civil court in form of oral 2, 3, 4 plaintiff, and he has also produced 2, 3 other persons in corroboration of his testimony, whatever facts on the basis of which that plaintiff has asserted his right. This may be a suit for injunction, mandatory suit for perpetual injunction, suit for specific performance of a contract which has arisen out of some dispute of civil nature, when both the parties, plaintiff and defendant, entered into any agreement, but one party is not ready and willing to accomplish the terms and conditions as contained in that agreement. So whatever was described, and that document when was executed, who are the marginal witnesses. So this is the set of evidence which shall be produced. But if that is denied, let's say defendant may comes before the court and take the preliminary objection in his written statement that as a matter of fact he had not given any free consent. Rather, this agreement which is in the possession of the plaintiff is result of fraud, misrepresentation, and by distortion and fabrication. And this all complete conspiracy has been hatched by the. Certainly, he would also take the plea that he had also reported the matter to the police when he was abducted, or he was coerced, or he was induced on some other pretext, but and on the blank paper his signature was obtained. So these all matters shall be thrashed by the court of law. So the litmus test, which are very essential to remember for me, as well as I always consider myself student of law, to prove the criminal case, prosecution has to prove its case to the hilt, beyond any shadow of doubt, so that he could bring home the guilt of the accused on the basis of cogent, plausible, solid, and above all trustworthy and reliable evidence. Later stage we will also discuss. Three terms have also been used by the superior courts, although of the Indian jurisdiction as well. Reliable witness, unreliable witness, partially reliable witness, and partially unreliable witness. So because the things are explored after doing some research work in this regard. Similarly, for the purpose of a court, a fact can be said to be proved if on the statement can be said to be proved if on the material before it, a reasonable person would believe that the fact exists. Reasonable person, a, likewise, prudent man, a man of common prudence, while appreciating the evidence, it is also bounden duty of the judge who has reached at the stage of rendering the judgment and evidence of both the parties, either in civil case or in criminal case, has been recorded, to take into consideration as contemplated under the Qanun-e Shahadat order and the Evidence Act, which was that of even 1872, which was a great piece of work of and craftsmanship of James Stephen, an English, more than 100 years back. I've given the reference of this James Stephen in my introductory lecture as well. So that judge must not consider himself to be intellectual, although he has to supervise and control hold the proceedings. Then in civil side, after filing of the suit and the filing of the written statement by the defendant, the issues have been framed under Article 14 of the Civil Procedure Code, then which party has to prove which fact, and if it is denied, the existence of the same has been denied by the defendant, then and a specific plea has also been taken, as we have discussed above. So then it would be, it is the court has to take into control every aspect of the matter. But when after production of the evidence by both the parties, certainly, as well as in criminal case, when after lodging of the FIR, investigation process has been completed, a report has been prepared by the police officer under section 173 CRPC, Criminal Procedure Code 1898, which regulates the proceedings of the criminal court, either relevant to the magisterial trial or sessions trial, and lot many miscellaneous proceedings that we have briefly discussed in our previous lectures. But when the appraisal of the stage of the appraisal of the evidence comes, then court has to appraise the same according to a man of common prudence, a common man, because it is pertaining to some eventuality, some occurrence, and some matters of civil nature. Because sometimes people play fraud in a very organized manner and try to, uh, you know, use the shoulder of the courts. And some people from the, unfortunately, legal fraternity do extend their support and try to establish a very good solid case by taking an undue advantage of defendants' innocence, simplicity, illiteracy, or putting him under some influence by way of intoxication. This is possible everywhere. So court has to see, while making the appreciation of the evidence, that the stance of which party is more stronger. And if some defendant has taken this specific plea of inducement of intoxication of and a man is of a very, though some people are sharp in memory, some people are very, intelligent, some people do not fall prey to very organized fraudsters and their cronies. They save themselves, but sometimes very, intelligent person fall prey to this. So this whole scenario shall be evaluated by the court. So that is why when we talk of assumption and presumption, so this regarding preponderance of evidence and to reach at a conclusion in some criminal case, under what circumstances, in which situation this occurrence had taken place. The plea if taken by the accused of sudden grave provocation, that of he is a man of he's man of unsound mind. There are a lot many different. So likewise, since a contradictory statement made by witness during trial of a suit cannot be believed, witness deposing against party producing him under no legal or moral law. Party putting such witness can take adverse stand, can only request to declare such witness hostile and expose him through cross-examination. Preponderance of evidence goes to prove or disprove a point in issue in civil cases. It is not judged on touchstone of a proof in a criminal matter, where charge is required to be proved up to hilt on the basis of unimpeachable evidence. Fact not proved on record, no judicial notice can be taken. So these were, some of the very important. Now we see Article 3. It is also uh, very relevant. D portion in interpretations as postulated under Article 2. Fact includes anything, state of things or relation of things capable of being perceived by the senses and any mental condition of which any person is conscious. So in the E, the expression automated electronic information system, electronic document, electronic signature advance shall bear the meaning given in the Electronic Transaction Ordinance 2002. Tape recorded conversation, admissible and precondition discussed. The expression certificate where the context to admits. So this has also been provided after amending and inserting in the light of section 29 of the Electronic Transaction Ordinance 2002. The party, if let's say if somebody has also, there is a case of circumstantial evidence that a conspiracy was hatched by A and B to kill C, or A, B, C, and victim is a deceased person is D. So they just before the occurrence, how uh, they made a plan. They were having constant contact with each other through their respective mobile phones, and then there was a, you know meeting of their minds rather, and they with preconceived notion and developed a common intention, and in furtherance of that common intention and common object, they at some point of time killed D. So that is the prosecution has also relied on such like piece of evidence, which is kind of, call data recording, CDR normally we say, and that has been procured of their respective phones, and that has been procured from that cellular company like Jazz or Mobilink or Zong or whatever it may be. And the certificate, because it is computer generated or anything else like some email, some fax message, or nowadays these are social media related. So in this respect, if such like piece of evidence is also being produced by the complainant of any case, that may be applicable in civil cases as well. If such like pertaining to proving any existence or proving non-existence of any fact. Though not the the things have gone more broader spectrum. The evidence may not be confined to the extent of oral evidence as well as documentary evidence which has already been available. That is why there is a amending clause in QSO under Article 78A. Likewise, under Article 40 6A, it relates to oral and that relates to documentary evidence. If some which is computer generated, but certificate will also be got issued from that cellular company just to for the verification purpose and give it more authenticity and reliability. It does not mean that computer generated record has been fabricated and manufactured. So this is, but this if such computer generated record is being produced by either of the parties in civil case or in criminal case, so that objection shall always be taken at the first instance at the time of marking that. But if it is at belated stage, then that objection shall not be construed valid and genuine. So this is but that is also a kind of. Now we come to chapter 2, that is of witnesses who may testify. This is very interesting and you must give serious attention. Firstly, we'll read its original text, then we'll discuss it. All persons shall be competent to testify unless the court consider that they are prevented from understanding the question put to them or from giving a rational answer to those questions by tender years, extreme old age, disease, whether of body or mind or any other cause of the same kind, provided that a person shall not be competent to testify if he has been convicted by a court for perjury or giving false evidence. Provided further that the provision of the first clause shall not apply to a person about whom the court is satisfied that he has repented thereafter and mended his ways. Provided further that the court shall determine the competence in accordance with the qualification prescribed by the injunction of Islam as laid down in the Holy Quran and Sunnah for witness. And where such witness is not forthcoming, the court may take the evidence of witness who may be available. A lunatic is not competent to testify unless he is prevented by his lunacy from understanding the question put to him and giving a rational answer to them. While going through the text and the wording of Article 3, who may testify, so firstly, we all must understand there is no restrictions of any age. Even a child of tender age of 7, 8, 9, 10 years can be a competent witness if has genuinely seen the occurrence. This normally happens in the cases of domestic violence, and if due to some violence, the husband has given severe beating to his wife, and that child was present, and that. But it would be firstly when the prosecution has relied upon that testimony of the child. Firstly, court has to satisfy itself by putting some questions.